are our lands, and no one can take them from us!
Let the floodgates open wide, feel it break from the inside. No room for fear, this is my time, my time. You won't take me down. I'll fight for this crown. Take me down. I'm dying for this kingdom. Sweat blood for this kingdom. I'm dying for this kingdom. You won't take me down. I'm dying for this kingdom. Sweat blood for this kingdom. I'm dying for this kingdom. You won't take me
All right, gamers, geeks, and other delinquents from the outer realms, it's time for the Gamers in Beta podcast with Captain Mike M.
That is a travesty of the highest order I've ever fucking seen one.
Featuring assorted co-hosts, J Maniac 17.
What the fuck was that all about?
Corey Atwood.
It's not my fault you guys all have shitty taste.
Sean Quicksilver 3355.
Well, maybe you should look it up.
And Joe State.
That game sucks, dude. God, I hope we never get that. Oh man, it was all day long. Just
shit.
And the fights before it. Oh man, they were horrid.
Nah.
Oh man, I could have cleared out a Blockbuster.
I let out a big post-sex fart last night.
Oh, lovely. Those are the best. Those are the best.
Well, it made you relaxed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that is the ultimate compliment, really, if you think about it. I mean, they don't usually look at it that way, but that's usually the ultimate compliment because that means you are relaxed. You've just gotten all that tension out that you've been building up all day.
Well, that's why we're here with episode 189 of the Gamers in Beta podcast to relieve more of that tension. Isn't that right, Matt?
That is very right, and that's very sexy talk right there.
So that's DeviousMrMatt of the 40cast. We have some members of the show that can't be here tonight. Corey is home with a stomach bug. I think Sean is battling the snow that we're all dealing with here in the Northeast as he drives to Vermont. And Joe had a very busy week getting his eBay business back in the black, so to speak. And so he didn't really feel he had much to contribute to the show this week. So he is taking a week off, which is fine. But we have Jay and Matt here. Jay, how is the snow in Maine?
It is building up quickly. We're supposed to get anywhere between 20 and 26 inches in my area. So
damn.
That's going to be fun. And because I work at a school. When school is canceled, I have to go into work because I do snow removal.
Now, Matt loves the equipment talk. We're not talking that type of equipment. Where he loves the tractors and all that.
Absolutely.
And truck talk. So tell Matt what type of device you use to remove the snow.
I use a Kubota.
Ooh.
Yeah, I usually put the plow on it, and then we'll put the brush on afterwards. So, because you can get it right down to the ground, and you don't have any ice, and nobody slips and falls.
So wait a minute. So not only will you plow it, but you're going to brush it too?
Yeah. Then we take the brush, put the brush on, and it takes all the snow right down to the ground. That way, you don't have to put down as much salt and stuff, so it doesn't screw up the floors as much. So
Well, that's a little bit of thinking there.
Now,
Yeah.
Matt, do you often find yourself plowing it and then brushing it, or just plowing it?
Usually I brush it first out of the way, and then I plow it.
Very
Really?
nice, very nice.
I thought there was nothing to brush.
Well,
there's
Matt
a little
likes,
bit.
Matt likes that.
I like when there's a little bit of snow to brush.
Oh yeah. Just a little
Just a
landing
little,
strip,
just
right?
a little. Not no 20 inches of snow to brush, but when there's a little bit of nice thin layer of brush
Yeah.
to get out of the way, that's okay.
Yeah, that's always nice. Yeah.
Excellent. So it is a steady snow here for sure. It is heavy snow too. You can tell. just
Giant flakes.
giant flakes. You can tell it's some
big
moisture
fluffy
to
ones.
it. And so the kids already have no school tomorrow. They're already thinking it's like Christmas Eve all over again, bouncing around the house.
Nice.
And they were off last Thursday, and now they're off today. So it's a
Now,
good
do you have to worry about making up days off of school?
I asked my wife that today. She says we have 5 built in.
Okay. It's
So-
the same thing here in Ohio. There's 5, they call them calamity days.
Yes, we have 2 so far.
That's standard. I think that's standard nationwide. You get 5 days. You still, and if you don't get those 5 days, they actually pull them off the end of the end of the year, so that you get out 5 days earlier. So
They don't do that here.
And Jay, I assume you can only use that Kubota for the parking lot. So that means you actually got to get out and use a snowblower or a shovel for the rest, or what?
no, I don't do the parking lot. We actually have a contractor that comes in and does the actual parking lot. I do all the sidewalks, entrances, and all that. So,
Oh.
and it's got a 6-foot blade on it, which is about the width of the entrances. So you just pull up into them, back drag.
Nice.
Let's
Now,
let's really get into the nuts and bolts of this, Matt. As a civil engineer, do you have to do anything to counter, like, hey, if they get a storm when you build something, does that ever come into play? Like if there's a calamity day?
We do take into account downspouts, that drainage off of your roof system and so forth. If it's not being collected underground, we take into account that it's not splashing onto a sidewalk or someplace where there's going to be a pathway for people to walk. So in case it does snow or get icy or cold, whatever water or drainage comes off that downspout doesn't go into a walkway and pathway and cause you to slip and fall.
Matt, I could hug you right now.
So we do. So we try and keep aware of that. And there was a job we did in Colorado for a company, a dairy company, where we actually heated the concrete where the trucks were maneuvered around that, so they won't have to plow as often and everything. So the concrete's actually heated underneath to help melt the snow.
So when you're doing like pathways and sidewalks and things like that, is there any like talk of like if we could fit like a Kubota on here or a Bobcat or just a regular snowblower? Or
Yeah, we try to make sure that any entrances, exits to pathways, walkways aren't blocked by pipe guards or guardrails or handrails or stuff like that. So at least, for ADA reasons, you have to have at least 36 inches width to get through an area. So you maintain that, and that's normally you can get at least a snowblower somewhere, maybe not a big 6-foot blade like what Jay's driving around in, depending on the area and that. But yeah, you try to be aware of something. It's the same thing with mowing grass. We try to make areas. We don't design grassy areas where you can't get a lawnmower back into it or it's too tough. So we'll just gravel those areas over or something like that.
Interesting.
It's all the fancy stuff nobody ever thinks of, Sure, doing the work around the area or designing. And a lot of times, even the designers don't think of it. But it's nice to know that that is in their mind.
And a lot of it's a learning process too. We get feedback and we go out and we see. And it's like, okay, you know what? Next time we need to do this or we need to do this, and so it's constantly evolving type of stuff. But there's things that we avoid on every job.
Yeah. Glory holes. Never have any glory holes in any of the jobs.
Nah, you save those for the outhouses for the construction workers.
What's your name again? Jay.
Gee, thanks.
Jesus, I couldn't think you could name that for my life of me. Anyways, Jay, Matt might be buying a TV. Let's talk about that a little bit. He is considering a 55-inch Vizio.
Vizio. Yeah,
Is
it
that
was
Sam's
Vizio.
Club?
Yeah. It was a model. It was like M55 I don't know something, but it was a 55-inch Vizio, $678, 4K HDR. I was looking at that one, and there was a 50-inch one that was like $498, but it was an HDR, and it was smaller, of course, too.
And Jeremy from Dad's Getting Grounded dropped a bombshell last night saying that there is, what's the Federal Communications? What is it?
FCC?
Yeah, they did some digging or reporting and let people know that if you had your Vizio, certain models, if you had them hooked up to like the internet, they were taking a screenshot of what you were looking at, what you were watching, and selling that information to advertisers and stuff like that.
So they're tracking what you're watching.
Right. Not tracking
They were
you.
taking like a small section of the screen and taking a picture of it and basically turning those pixels into data, which they could then go online and do a search, and it would tell you what show that was, and you could and then pass that on.
Right.
So let me ask you this:
Yes.
is that such a bad thing? I mean,
I don't give a shit.
where's the harm in that?
It's illegal. There
Okay.
are laws against that.
There's a lot of things illegal. Just look at the last
If you're
one.
not telling people that and letting them opt into it, which they did not do, they were doing it without people knowing.
Sure, I can understand that.
Yeah, that is illegal. And that's why they're in trouble and why they got fined.
I'm not one of those guys that gets hung up on shit like that, you know. I remember the people that, like, you know, covered up their Connect or cover up the thing in the bathroom stall. Someone wants to watch me take a shit. Someone wants to watch the Connect and be bored to death. Someone wants to look at my Vizio data, and yeah, I'm on a PS4 or an Xbox One. I got far other things to get worked up about, but I can understand some people getting a little pissed off, you know.
Sure,
Yeah.
you know, invasion of privacy type of thing. But I can also see, okay, so they're taking a picture of a fucking gay porn I'm watching. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, they're on xhamster.com.
X-Hamster, that's right, X-Hamster.
Yeah, you were in the cotton section, right?
Granny and midget.
So the Vizio TV, let's get back to that. 55-inch. Your wife does want a smart TV, so that would check off that section there. And you're looking to upgrade a TV in your basement that's an old, like, projection TV, right?
Yeah, it's an old Sony 46-inch DLP HD. It's HD TV. It's only 720p, but it's HD. It's a great TV. I got it back in 2006. And some of us just won't die. If all the things around this house I want to die, this is one of them. I just won't do it. But it's a great TV. That's my problem with it. It's great for watching movies on because the colors aren't really good. But I see these new 4K TVs, and something, you know, a bigger size also would be nice to have.
You know, like I told you, I have the Vizio in the bedroom. It's not an HDR; it's just a 4K, and it's a very nice TV. And I've heard
I'm wondering
nothing
how the delay is on that.
The lag time for for gaming, I have no idea.
I know I notice it a little bit sometimes on my Sharp.
Well, if you have game mode, you can put it in that. And
I do, but it still reduces it, but not all. You know, not completely. There's some games I can notice it on.
But it's like what Mike and I was talking last night. I'm not really going to do that much gaming on it, just for the fact that I game now in front of my little 23-inch monitor. You know.
Okay, and that's what I was going to ask. If you had a console, you were hooking your console to this.
I think you need to go the same route that I did. And of course, it's easy to say that, but it's your money. You know, if you, of course, you know, it sounds like you need to update two areas in your home, right? You need to update the basement TV, because that's 46 DLP. And what are you currently gaming on?
It's a 23-inch Acer monitor, which is freaking awesome. It's 1080p. It's
I was going to say you've got no lag time on that, probably.
No, no.
I mean, it really depends on the space you have there where the Acer is, right? And it depends on how much you want to go up to the 4K and HDR. Like I told you, the Samsung that I have in my office is always readily available for $459, $499, and that's a 40-inch. Mm-hmm. And it fits very nice on my office desk. You know, I got it in kitty corner in the wall, so I love it. But I was thinking about is if you're going to get this TV, it really doesn't solve any of your gaming problems. It's more of just a house.
No, it's a house. It's a TV thing, watching TV thing. You know, movies, TV. Because right now upstairs we have a 42-inch TV upstairs that is the main TV. And the TV downstairs we don't use that often just because it's got the bulb in it, and the more you turn it on and off, which is horrible for it, the more that puts that wear and tear on that bulb. So to get a newer TV downstairs that we could turn on every day, and turn off every day type of thing would be a lot better, free up a lot of fighting in the house over who's watching what and the TVs and stuff. We can just go downstairs and watch something. Because we don't use the TV downstairs that often except for when we're watching movies and that. Just because that whole reason, because of the bulb and turning on and off, and it's stuff like that.
I'll have to give you the link for the Samsung that I have. That's the 40-inch. Because I don't think the 55 is that much. The 55 might be in the same ballpark as that Vizio, and if I was going to decide between Vizio and a Samsung, I'd get a Samsung.
I would rather get a Samsung or a Sony, yes.
And you said it's because they have the app for your cable company, right?
Yeah, Samsung's got the app for, it's now Charter Spectrum, definitely on their TVs. I don't think it's available on the Vizios. So there's that to consider also. But, I would rather...
shop's very limited for apps, too.
Yeah. But I would rather get... I'm not saying anything bad against Vizio, but I've just got this... what do you want to call it? This predetermined thing about Vizio TVs that I know Samsungs and Sonys are... They're better TVs.
Well, Eric's got the Vizio. Glovebox has the 70-inch Vizio.
Yes.
And he likes that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we just had my stepfather's 78th birthday, and they got him the 55 Samsung 6 Series.
Mm.
I was like, son of a bitch, that's the one I wanted.
Yeah.
And all they're going to do is watch TV on it.
I know the Vizio's got the different. They got the P, the M. Was it the E, then the D? I think the P's are high end. Then you got the M, and then the E, then the D. As far as I guess the quality of them and so forth.
Yeah. Samsung. I'm just looking right now. Samsung is a considerable leap. So the one
Cost-wise.
the one I have right now, it's not on sale. So it's back to $549. I got it for $499. But the 49
The 40 is the 6, right?
No, the 40 is the KU 7000.
So it's a 7, okay.
Yeah. KU 7000. If you got the 49-inch for that, you're looking at $799. And if you got the 55-inch, it's $1,000. So,
damn.
there's a reason people are buying Vizios,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's that price. Yeah.
So you'll have to let us know either on the 40cast or on this show or on Twitter if you pull the trigger. But
and those that know me, it's a big money, big purchase, so it's going to be a long process.
And it better not be a delivery fee.
No.
I would already have the thing set up by now, games installed, played. Matt's looking, maybe when I get taxes back in 2019,
Well, the only thing I'm thinking now is get the TV now, okay? And I'm guessing I should get HDR, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's
So
the
get
big thing.
Get the TV now. Get the 4K TV with HDR. And then Christmas time rolls around. Right now, work is going great. We're busy, and it's looking to be a good year. So I'm thinking a good end-of-year bonus already. I'm thinking this. So at that time, I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe it's time for the PS4 Pro.
I
Christmas
knew
time
it.
comes around. You know, so there's a combination thing going
Right,
there.
and then we had the conversation about that last night, but then you're going to all of a sudden take your normal gaming setup where you're used to in your office or basement on a desk into the living room, and now you're going to be playing on a couch farther away on a larger TV. And you know what that means. Happy sleep time.
As you know me, yes, I will be falling asleep much more easier and faster now, probably. But
So Matt usually has a 10:45, 11 o'clock cutoff time. It'll be now 10:20.
well, I'll just fall asleep. You guys just have to kick me out of the party or whatever, you know.
Oh, we've had that happen before.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Well, let's get into some gaming news. Jay's favorite company, Activision, had a earnings call this week, and we won't get into the financials because, again, I don't like to count other people's money. But there is some news that came out of this that we'll kick things off with. Call of Duty, certainly a series that has many opinions, and I actually think this iteration of it, the Infinite Warfare, is pretty decent as far as the story goes. I enjoy it a lot. I haven't finished it, but that doesn't mean much because I don't finish a lot of things. But I did enjoy it a lot. The multiplayer to me was just more of the same futuristic wall climbing and things like that. And so that didn't have a lot of appeal to me. But they came out in this earnings call and said that the game did not resonate with their fans, that the sci-fi aspect of it was just not something that resonated. So they're going to go back to their roots with the next iteration this year. Sledgehammer is making the game. Now, do you think that they feel forced to go back to the roots because Battlefield won?
Yes.
No.
Well, here's my question for you, though. Do they even know what their roots are anymore? Because they keep saying this. We're going to go back to the roots because this one didn't resonate well. This isn't the first time this has happened.
Yeah, you wonder. I mean, I think what they're saying is Infinite Warfare didn't sell as well because it was a new series. So Black Ops has a name. Modern Warfare has a name. This one, like Ghost, didn't have a... This isn't a follow-up to anything. This isn't a sequel. It's a new series for them. And so do they go back to like Black Ops 1 type stuff, like Vietnam? Do they go back to their real roots, like, World War II stuff, like the first couple?
And start over?
Right. I mean, I'm sure they absolutely know by now what they're doing, but if you guys had a preference, Battlefield's out there right now doing World War II. Or is that World War II or World War I?
World War I.
Do you want another World War I game, or would you prefer like a World War II or Vietnam, Korean War? Is there some...
Two lends itself better, but...
I would like to see something modern day or, just present time like they did with Modern Warfare, the original Modern Warfare. Just modern weapons, no gimmicks or anything like that with weapons and guns and stuff like that. You got your AKs and M14s and all that stuff, just everything that's being used now. And just go back to being simple. That's just me, though. I know a lot of guys out there like all the perks and all that stuff that you get with different things and that. But that's why I like Battlefield 1 so much, because it's simple. There's no one doing these stupid tricks and different things to get kills and that. It's just...
Or one of those things they get for the perks or something like that. I mean, like you get this, they can send a drone after you and the airstrikes and all. It's like, okay, this guy's already better than me. And now he's earned all this stuff and just gotten weapons that are far above what I can even do. So now I really can't catch up. That's what really frustrates me about Call of Duty the most.
The thing that I get the most frustrated with Call of Duty is not any of that type of stuff. Because, hey, if you're good and you get rewards, so be it. That's life. It's the damn dolphin diving or, just the way people can sort of slide out of the way. Or there seems to be more arcadey, gimmicky stuff that they can do, where you're right. Battlefield 1 feels like it's more just a mano a mano. Yep. You try to shoot them, they try to shoot you, and whoever's got the best trigger finger wins. Where it feels like in Call of Duty, there's a lot of unrealistic stuff that happens. Right. But you can't get the kill.
But yeah, that's why I would like to see just present day type of stuff, fighting ISIS or whatever. I don't know.
It would be interesting.
Just simple.
Yeah, that wouldn't spark any sort of debate.
Oh, geez, that's the problem. Got to be PC. That's why they can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to make up enemies.
No, they could definitely do it. Haven't they done? I mean, I don't have the games off the tip of my tongue, but doesn't mean how many times the Russians are always the enemies. I mean, that's not always. It's sort of poking the bear, and I think there's been plenty of games where they've infiltrated the Middle East and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just don't think you could call it ISIS, obviously.
No, they probably got that trademarked.
Yeah, like the lean and clean.
Yeah, like the lean and clean. Yep.
Yeah. Some other news: no Skylanders in 2017.
Oh.
Although they have confirmed that there will be seasons 2 and 3 of the cartoon on Netflix.
Is that still a thing? The whole Toys for Games thing, or wherever that is, or is that kind of petering out?
I think it's kind of petering out. So Disney Infinity's already done. The Skylanders is at least taking a year off. And if we can go by Guitar Hero, how many years did Guitar Hero take off? 2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
I would think so, maybe. I think the only one that's still going strong and people are still buying is the Lego Dimensions.
Really?
Okay.
I think they just came out with a whole bunch of new stuff this week for the Lego Batman movie, and they just came out with Wave 8. So people are still buying those, and I'd say a good. I'm not sure. It's not like Amiibos and like Skylanders were, because this stuff is made readily available. There's no hunt involved with Lego Dimensions that I know of.
But I mean, Skyland is coming out every year. Was just ridiculous. I mean, when you get a figure, I mean, you could go out day one and spend $500 on the game and figures.
Yep.
I mean, and that's not even the full amount of figures. So
yeah, you could do that. With
I mean, that's really a lot to ask people to pay out every year. I mean, I think if they went by every 2 to 3 years, they could still do releases, within those 2 years of different characters and still get the money without burning it out.
Yeah, I think what they're afraid of is that the kid who's into Skylanders at 11 or 10 years old, and then they don't come out with something for 3 years. Now he's 13 and he's into sports or he's into.
That's true. Yeah.
They wanted to get that money while the stuff was hot, so that's why that stuff why it was annualized.
Yeah, that's very true. I didn't think of it that way, but that's exactly it. Yeah.
And then Destiny 2 has been confirmed for this year.
Yep.
There's been a lot of talk about, this is rumor and this was shot down by Bungie. They said this doesn't apply at all, but someone was making the case, Kotaku, that they had 2 sources with inside Bungie that said if the game was not released this year, that Activision would be awarded a hefty chunk of Bungie's stock. And Bungie came back saying there's no scenario where Activision or any other partner we work with is awarded Bungie stock. But they did confirm, or people have confirmed, that their employees do have a stock vesting schedule based on a game's release, which includes Destiny 2. So if the game comes out this year, they will invest more stocks. What's interesting, it's almost middle of February, right? Valentine's Day is Tuesday, so that's the middle of the month because there's 28 days this month. And, Destiny is one of the biggest franchises out there, a polarizing franchise. People seem to either love it or hate it. And not much has come out, and they think that's a good thing because there was too much that came out for Destiny 1, and then they didn't really deliver the content that people thought. So they say this time around, they're keeping things close to the vest, and when they're ready to show you something, they will. And they also have 3 other studios within Activision working on this. So it's not just Bungie. And I know Jay loves that. Loves to hear the other studios chipping in and helping out.
Sure, why not? As long as they make a good game. I like Destiny. So.
I imagine they'll say something at E3 and it'll be another September release again, like the original.
Right. Yeah. And they say it's going to, from what people are talking about, it is going to be a new experience. It is not going to feel like an expansion, and you'll be leaving your characters behind more than likely. How do you guys feel? How do you feel about that? You put all your time into a character, then you got to leave it behind.
That's that would suck, especially all these guys who are like really into the raiding and everything, get all their characters built up and all the gear and weapons and that. It would suck to have to start over.
But that's no different than, like, say, Borderlands 1 to Borderlands 2, right?
Right, or any Call of Duty or any of the other games that we generally play. I mean, what games do you get to carry your character through where you actually keep stats and stuff like that? I mean, WoW and stuff, but that's just a reiteration of each one. It's not like they came out with WoW 2 or something like that. So,
no, WoW. I mean, with World of Warcraft, you get the main game, and then they just every other year, they come out with an expansion pack.
Right.
And that's what I thought Destiny was going to be.
Constantly growing.
Right.
Did everybody feel like that's the way Destiny was going to be? They said they had a 10-year plan for this game.
That's what I thought.
I never felt like there was going to be a Destiny 2. Like,
a lot of people didn't.
Yeah, that seems a little.
I kind of assumed that too, but they've got to reiterate and move on, especially with how hard it was for them. I don't think they were prepared to put all the content out, and that's been part of the problem. So they've got a hell of a game there.
I still don't feel confident that Destiny 2 is going to solve everybody's problems because they're still talking about a spring update for Destiny 1. And then they still got to deliver you a whole new experience for Destiny 2. Maybe there's a lot of people at Bungie. I don't know.
There's so many people that play that game, though, that, they're not creating a lot of new content for the current Destiny. So, they're probably going to take that engine and expand upon it and then take a lot of the ideas they had from the current one and expand upon those. And if they expand upon these in a positive way, which the only people we're going to know is if it's positive is if the consumers that are getting it like it. So really can't tell till it comes out. But there'll be a lot of people trying it because there are a lot of people that like Destiny. So Destiny 2 should sell pretty decent.
Yeah, and I don't know, we kind of don't know yet, but maybe this Destiny 2 is just a big expansion pack for the first one. Could that be possible?
I think anything is possible, but it seems to me like it's a whole new SKU.
I think they've pretty much put that out there that it's not going to be an expansion. This is going to be a new game.
I mean, the only thing I could see, Matt, is if they get too much backlash, if people say, fuck this, I'm done. I put in this many years and hours, and then you tell me I can't go forward, and that bubbles up to be the majority public sentiment, then maybe they make a change, but it seems like for right now, it's going to be a whole new game. And, that gets me thinking, are we the exception? Do most gamers play like one or two titles and not play a whole bunch? So there's people out there that just spend hours in Destiny or they spend hours in Overwatch. We seem to play a lot of games. We play 100 hours in Fallout, 100 hours in The Witcher, maybe a little more than that for some of you guys in Skyrim and things like that. But how come it doesn't feel like the three of us just sit there and say, all right, these are my franchises, and these is all I'm going to play. Everything else, I'll listen to other people talk about it, but I'm just going to be playing my, handful of titles.
I can't do that.
You just get bored of it? You need new experiences?
Yeah. It's like Witcher 3. How long I stopped playing Witcher 3, and also I'm back playing it, and I'll stop again when something else comes out. Like when MLB comes out, I'll start playing that again. Probably going back and forth to a variety of games. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
tough.
like food.
Yeah.
I've put a ton of time into Fallout 4 over the past year. So, I guess we could say in that way, but I still play, right. But exactly. I still play a lot of other games in between. Destiny I grabbed onto for a while, which is one of those games that when people, that people that are only playing one or two games are playing, that's one of them. I've played it, but I was happy with this. Once I got to do the raid, I was good, and then moved on to whatever else is coming out. I think the three of us tend to get into a game, play a game, and a lot of times we won't even finish a game. and we move on to the next one. And then I think that's those people like that grasp onto these games. You've got people who do that. They want to get in. They like to finish a game and complete it. And the ones that get into Destiny and the other games like that, which really don't have an end, you're always moving up. That's why they get in and play those games that way.
I think, I can't speak for them 100%, but it feels like to me they also want to be part of a community too, right? Mm-hmm. Right? They want to chat with other people that talk about those games. They want to listen to other people that talk about those games. That's sort of, I'm not saying it's their identity in life, but it's their gamer identity. I identify with the games that I play 100 of hours with, and I don't care about these other games that come out. It's interesting how people make different choices like that. For me, the games that I really like, I spend the 100 of hours in. Division, Witcher 3, Fallout 4. Those come to mind, But I've never said I just want to identify with a handful of franchises and not play everything else. Feels
Right.
too limiting.
Yeah, I agree. And I think you got a good analogy there with the food thing. I don't want to eat cheeseburgers every day for the rest of my life. I want a little variety, and I want my pizzas and chicken and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, let's move on to the community question of the week. The question was, what makes a game stream worth watching? The game itself, the streamer, commentary, humor, etc. So let's read some of these down below. Matt, your name is in there.
It is.
You want me to read yours, or you want to elaborate it yourself?
Do me in my voice.
All right. Let's see. So first we have a Bucks
Do me.
Sugar Free, which says, first I watch streams of games I play or are interested in playing. I watch the streamers that engage with the viewers, talking to them and answering questions. Also, I like to watch streamers that are good at the game. I like Prolosco on Battlefield because he is an insane pilot. Let's see. Next we have RoboPig. For me, sometimes I just want to see the game in action, in which case the streamer doesn't matter much to me. Often I am watching for fun, entertainment, and then it's not the game, it's the streamer that is important.
I can agree with that one.
Mm-hmm. Mafia Thug, our buddy on Discord. I'm not much of a stream watcher, but I will occasionally watch a stream of Rainbow Six or the competition matches. So for me, I guess it would be the game. I love watching video reviews, though.
In that case, would that go toward kind of what you were just discussing? Like, I think he plays Rainbow Six a lot. He's probably one of those people that really plays that game more so.
The more I get to know Mafia Thug and his wife, Latina Mafia. Last week I called her Latina Thug. I do apologize for that that miscue. It's Latina Mafia. And, I think the two of them, definitely that's their game, Rainbow Six. And that's sort of, I guess, is their comfort food for gaming. That's what they go back to. But it seems like just a little bit, I've talked to them, and they do expand their horizons. They said they played the Talos Principle, and they loved that.
Oh, yes.
They played that together, and they just recently bought a Wii U, and they like that. And so it sounds like they maybe have a bigger library than just, Rainbow Six and stuff like that.
Yeah. But in that case, I mean, with the streaming, that's kind of what I was going with, is it touched on what you say, and then watching, you learn more when it is your core game, and by watching others who are good, you can learn things from it. So.
Sure. They are definitely identify with that franchise. Yep. Popping grapes is, I think, what he likes to say.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah.
So, we got Devious Mr. Matt. I make it worth watching. Sweet smile.
I thought that was a sweat smile.
Well, that's later. To go along with the post-sex fart. Also, being engaged in audience and not overbearing, annoying. I hate when watching a stream and they're spending too much time in the menus or doing inventory and stuff or something like that. More gameplay, less menus, please.
I need more information. I wish we had the person who wrote this to find out, what games are they watching?
What menus really set you off, Mr. Matt?
So it seems like, I'll go watch a game. stream, especially when the game like first comes out. And I'll be watching a stream, and the guy is just sitting there going through. Take like The Witcher 3 for example. When that first came out, I was watching a stream where a guy he spent an hour at least, probably wasn't that long because I want to watch that long, but just messing around in the menus and that, going through and looking at all of his different things and actually reading all the different notes and stuff that he was getting. And that it's like, dude, do that like on your own time or something. Let's see some gameplay and some questing and stuff like that. Do some of that stuff. But people seem to get a little involved with that too, and there's probably people that want to see that too. But I want to see the awesome gameplay and everything like that. And but definitely the streamer. If the streamer is engaging and having fun with the listeners and stuff, then that's really cool. You know, someone who's entertaining to watch. But a lot of times I just watch a stream to figure out a new game if I'm, just to see what the gameplay is like. It's one of the best ways to actually find it out,
I watched a little bit of the For Honor stream earlier in the week. The devs, I think they were devs and some celebrities as well. Man, that game looks so good on the PC. It's unbelievable. I mean, it looks good on the consoles, but on the PC, it really looked unbelievable. All right, Jay, you want to read the last two?
I can. Assistol 68. I like to watch streamers that play a good mix of games. Games on the Mind does a good job by trying to do this to keep everyone interested in engaging the viewers. It's a good way to keep up viewers' morale while watching. Not saying that because he's my best friend, but he truly does a good job thanks to his streaming. I would have not found this podcast.
Yeah. So that's Jake on PSN. And Games on the Mind does a good job. He's sort of switched over now to Beam. He's like stopped doing what he was doing on Twitch, and he's moved over to Beam.
Yeah, I'm kind of eager to try Beam and see if it works, because Twitch does not work anymore. I don't know if they've made changes or whatnot, but I used to be able to stream on the Xbox. I can't anymore.
So. Now, have you I know you have the creators update for the Xbox One, but that doesn't mean you got Beam along with it. Did you verify you have it?
I do not. It's supposed to be coming soon. I think we discussed before, there's 4 different tiers. There's the Alpha, the Beta, Ring 3, and Ring 4. And I had the option of either having Beta or doing Ring 4. So I switched over to the Beta, and it's not in there yet. So I am eager to have that come out and give it a try. But we do have one. Go ahead.
I said I don't even think I'm in the preview anymore because it just says pending.
Yeah, I bet if you look in your Ring 4, and Ring 4 is the last. You get like one update a month, if that. And it's almost, and the update is like right before they're going to release the actual update is when Ring 4 gets it.
Beyond pending.
That's odd.
I go into that Insider's Xbox app.
Yeah.
And all it does is say pending.
Yeah, I'm not. Mine says the same thing, but I've got the update on one console and the other 2 consoles haven't, so it's odd.
Yeah, none of mine have been updated since December 10th.
Yeah, that was what mine was before. Now I'm getting updates every 3 or 4 days. And our last one here is Ruiner2 replied to us. His favorite streams that he would watch are kid-friendly language. And he only play games when they are in bed, but will watch streams when they are awake and in earshot. Hence the kid-friendly language. So
fuck that.
That's what he watches.
Oh, what a fucking travesty.
Bullshit.
The fuck, man.
Beep,
All
beep,
right.
beep, beep, beep. There you go.
So Matt's already given us his answer. And Jay, what about you? Do you watch a lot of streaming?
I don't. Don't watch much at all. Yeah, no, I don't.
But
I was trying to think. The only streams I watch is there's one that's very interesting. Is Kay Pike does the body painting, and it's amazing to see.
So that's not even gaming.
No, it's not. It's most of what she paints are characters from in-game, from video games, and she talks about video games while she's doing the painting. So it's kind of interesting in that way. But I find that, I find that interesting because of what she can create. Some of the stuff she creates, it's amazing. I mean, she was doing Skeletor Crypt Keeper, and she made her face look like a skeleton, and it was amazing to see. I mean, you couldn't even see her nose; it just disappeared. So it was very interesting what she does. And then, like I said, she's got she talks about games and whatnot while they're on stream, and other kind of pop culture stuff. So that's about the only one, and even that I only do every once in a great while.
I don't think for me it's so much the streamer. I think I want to watch the game. Certainly I like to watch people that I know. So sometimes I'll watch Nick, Games in the Mind. Recently I tuned in to watch Eric from Everyday Gamers when he was streaming the closed beta for For Honor. So I like to mix it up with the combination of the game I'm interested in and the person I know. But every once in a while I'll watch something. Sometimes if my son is watching something on his Kindle and I don't necessarily want to play a game on the Xbox, I'll go into Twitch and see what people are watching and kind of just pick and choose. But more often than not, I find someone who doesn't speak English. And that's just, it's just a distraction for me to watch the game and then I don't understand what they're saying. So I try to find, you think, I don't know what's appropriate, but you would think if someone in the U.S. was tuning into Twitch, maybe they would put the ones, rather than the ones that are most popular on the front, maybe serve me up the ones that are most popular and also are based in the U.S.
Yeah.
That would just be my thinking. I don't know.
Well, maybe they don't have the
capability
to do that. But yeah, and that's true. I do watch friends that stream too. I have most of our friends, if they start streaming, like you and Matt, sometimes they'll stream some of your game stuff that you're playing occasionally. Not so much nowadays, but you used to do more, and then
right.
And
we always forget about it.
We do. When it's too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am disappointed no one brought up the booby streamers. I can't. I meant to book.
I was traumatized after doing a Google search on that, so I didn't want to bring it back.
So. A booby streamer is someone, I think mostly women, with, that are showing off their breast, whether they are large or small. They're not naked. They're just in some sort of revealing, top. And a lot of them, what they do is they are the focus, and the game is in the lower left-hand corner or right, wherever. So you watch a streamer, right, and their video camera is in one of the corners, and the game is being mainly displayed. So these people do the opposite. They're being displayed, and the game is like in the lower corner.
Nice.
Yeah.
And it's really not that much different, with the exception of nudity, than like if you were going to watch someone on like My Free Webcams or something like that. These people are looking for money for their Patreons, money for their Amazon. Buy me something off Amazon wish list.
Those are the worst ones. They literally will have it like in their Twitter bio. They'll have their wish list in there, or you go onto their stream and it's a link that pops up. Everyone, so here's my wish list. Send me something. It's like, are you kidding me?
There was an article maybe about a year ago with this girl who was a booby streamer, and she stopped, and she did a video of what it took for her to get ready for the show. Like all the makeup she put on and the outfit and everything like that. So, I'm disappointed that no one came forth, because I know there's some of you out there that probably do that, but no one came forth and admitted it. Shame on you all.
I never heard of it until now.
Well, I might start doing if people stop buying stuff off my wish list for me.
Yeah. What's your top one item on your wish list, Jay?
I don't know right offhand. Hold on, I can tell you real quick. Hold on. Get in here.
While he's doing that.
Take me a second to get in here and look.
There is one streamer I do enjoy watching all the time. His name's Jeff Favignano, and he streams a lot. He does a lot of role-playing game, and he streams a lot of that LSPDFR and My Summer Car and just all different types of things. And he really gets into the role-playing stuff. And he's fun. He's entertaining and fun to watch.
So
and when he does
role-playing.
Yeah, and when he does live streams, he engages very well with his audience too. So he's he's entertaining. It's like watching a TV show.
Now, what do you think about people who stream, but they don't talk about the game they're playing? So some people use the game as sort of what brings you into the stream, but then they're talking about like gaming news and other games and things like that. So it's sort of a way to get visual entertainment and then audio entertainment at the same time. So they're just, the game's sort of secondary. So maybe they're having a podcast while the game's being played, or I've seen some like former press people that are now into game development and stuff like that, or like sort of PR at studios. They'll have a daily stream where they show off the game for the studio that they're working on, but they're also talking about current events that are going on in gaming. So they're not necessarily talking to you about the game.
I would have to, I guess, maybe see one and see. But if it's entertaining, they're talking about good stuff in that. I would be okay with that. But I could see where if someone wanted to see the game, if they was interested in that game, they wanted to learn more about the game, they'd probably be pissed off about it, Yeah. But I could see that both ways there, where it could be an entertaining show. Someone playing a game while they're talking about, whatever type of stuff.
Now, Jay, have they served you up your wish list, or are you still looking for it?
I got it.
What's the number one item?
Number one item is the Hapag digital TV tuner for Xbox One.
What does that go for?
It's now $65. I should have picked one up when they were $35.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the next one is the Games Vanguard personal gaming environment for Xbox One, Xbox One S, PS4, PS3, Xbox 360. Not included.
All righty. Well, Jay, let people know what the question of the week is for next week.
This is based off of what we're going to be talking about here and what we've been playing. What is your favorite fighting game of all time? And this can go all the way back to as far back as you want to go. For me, it would be going back to NES, even though my favorite fighting game was not on that. But that's the first console I really played on a lot. Unless you count the Apple II GS.
Are you defining a fighting game like Double Dragon, Soul Calibur, Street Fighter?
That's what this is based off of. Basically, this came to mind because of For Honor. Because really, I look at For Honor it's a fighting game because you've got moves that you've got to know, and you've got to know the timing. You've got to have the skill for it. But it's also within not really an open world game, but I mean, there's more to it than just the fighting. You can go around. So it's not like Mortal Kombat or something like that. But, so I'm kind of considering that that's a fighting game too. So.
Any of you guys play Kung Fu on the NES?
Actually, yes.
No, I never played that one.
That was bad.
No, that was good. All the different levels that you would go up, just all the kicking, and you'd have to kick like the dragons in the ceiling and stuff like that. That was a good game.
Man.
It wasn't easy.
All right, let's move on to what we have been playing. Matt, you're the guest, so why don't you go first?
Sure. As we talked about here earlier, we played, of course, a lot of Battlefield 1 that we've been messing around with. Still going strong with that, with the multiplayer. Lots of fun when we get together and play that. Lots of laughs, good talks and stuff like that.
Good time doing that.
Very good times.
A little burnt out on the map, so I'm looking forward to some new content.
I agree with that. Yeah, I'm getting tired. It seems like I've been playing a lot of that desert map lately, and I don't.
Oh, that's my favorite.
I don't like that one too much. No.
I love it with the sandstorm.
Because people can just camp in A and B. And
exactly.
And get up on the ridges and snipe people.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's a horrible map. But I do like Jay brought up a good point there with the weather. Man, some of these maps, the weather really gets involved with the game as far as like the fog coming in, or it's raining or something like that.
A little OP of the fog.
Yeah.
Like Mike was saying, though, with the issue with the map is that they snipe you from A and B. But when the sandstorm comes through, it wipes that out. So that's why I liked it, because when you're playing that normally, it's frustrating. You just go along and you get sniped. every 2 seconds.
Yeah. But that's been a lot of fun. And like I said before, Witcher 3, I've been jumping back into that. And man, I just, it's going very well. Just lots of fun going through the questing and everything. The story is getting good. I love the interactions with Geralt and the other people in that, and it's a very fun, well done game. And I need to just get up and complete it, but there's so much to do in that game, so much. That, and of course, my favorite, MLB the Show. Always playing that. Played a little bit today. I'm getting ready for the new one to be coming out. I got that pre-ordered already, obviously.
What's the release date on that?
End of March, I believe.
God damn, they're just inundating us with games.
Oh, we're getting hammered, yeah.
Yeah. That's unusual for like this time of year, it seems like. You know?
Unusual or usual?
Unusual, it seems like.
No, it's usual because I remember it's usual because PAX is around and I'm always stressed. All right, I got to pay for all these games, and then PAX is coming out, and then I got to pay for post-PAX things at night. I always know like March and April is a busy time for releases.
Maybe it's because the games in the past that came this time of year I just didn't care for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I say that. So, let's see, what else have I been doing? And then, just that For Honor beta. Downloaded that. We played that some last night, Mike. And that was fun.
Yes. Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, so that's a game that I don't think is usually in your wheelhouse that you would expect you to play.
Yeah, and you are correct. Yeah, I'm on the fence on getting it. I did enjoy playing with you guys last night. I did have fun. But it's just one of the things where I see that after 2 weeks or something like that, people moving on from and going to something else. So I'm a little wary of getting it.
Yeah, they have to. There is definitely that possibility. But to be honest, I feel the same way with Battlefield. Mm-hmm. That if I play Battlefield for an hour and a half at a night, I feel like I'm good for the night. You know what I mean? I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm quitting and going, wow, I really could have played that for another hour and a half.
Correct.
And I feel the same way with For Honor. That I felt like when we stopped last night, we might have played 1 or 2 matches longer than I probably would have wanted to play.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I'm glad someone finally said we're stopping.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really think for that game, I got to see what they're going to do with, how they're going to keep you invested. And I feel like maybe this is more on me and less on them, that I need to pick different characters. Maybe I won't be as burnt out as quick.
And we got to think, too, we was just playing the beta, which is very limited as far as gameplay goes.
Yeah, only 3 maps.
Sure.
I'm not sure if there are going to be other modes, because the deathmatch was new for this open beta. That wasn't in the closed beta. Deathmatch is pretty decent. It's 4v4, and then you die, you're done.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, last man standing.
Yeah. And now I know you played, Mike, multiplayer with some real people, and I did too. And I got my ass handed to me in the real multiplayer. You seem to have enjoyed that. And then I know later in the evening we played just against bots, which I did better with and had more fun with also.
Yeah, I mean, that's good that that's in there, because there's some people that don't like playing against other real people because their skill level is not compatible. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think to play with bots. So I've always played player versus player, and sure, there were some matches where I absolutely got destroyed and some where I didn't. But it's good to know the bots is in there. I could see myself going back and forth. What I need to do in research is there a difference in how the XP gets doled out? If you're playing against bots, is it less than if you're playing against, player versus player?
Right, yeah. No,
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I know you are, and I know Jeremy is also. I played today. I played duels. It was just one-on-one.
Yep.
And, of course, I was just playing against bots.
Yep.
But that was pretty fun.
No, that's not the whole map, right? Do you have access to the whole map?
No, you're just in one little area. It's like an arena type of thing. where you're limited in an area. And it's just you and another person, one-on-one, fighting to the death. And it's, like a best of 5, 5 rounds and best of 5 wins. But that was fun. It was very nice. It was easier for me to do the whole blocking system and stuff,
Yep.
And ever since you said that last night when we was playing about wearing the other person down with the blocks and then attacking, ever since I started doing that, it's a lot. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you just got to keep your eye on that, 3-prong thing, because obviously you don't block down, you block right, left, and up, and it flashes red the way they're going to hit you, and if you're not so focused on hitting them back, you can block that, and they might come at you 2 or 3 times before they get gassed, and then you can get your attacks in.
Yep. So it's an interesting game.
The best thing I love in that game is pushing people.
Does it act more like a traditional fighting game when you're playing it that way?
I don't ever get the sense that I'm playing like you're thinking like a Street Fighter, because that mostly has combos. There's no combos in this. I mean, I guess there's somewhat of a combo, where you're holding the target button down, which is the left trigger.
Right.
But there's no traditional fighting moves in there.
It's more of just having blocks and attacks then.
Yeah. I guess, it has its roots, I guess, in fighting games a little bit.
Yeah. You got your high, low, and middle attacks, and the same with blocks, right? So basically you just got to counter back and forth when you're playing like that, when it's just one-on-one.
Right, yeah.
Because I've only played the one where you have the bots and all that, so you'll be fighting a guy, and you're fighting a guy, and you're trying to, when you run into another person that's not a bot, you also can run into the fact where a bot can now come behind you and attack you, or another guy can. I think that's what you run into a lot of times is you get double teamed.
Yeah, the bots will only attack you if you're at B, right? So if you're like in that runway from the ends to the middle of B, you could be fighting some other guy, and then a bot could come over. But if you're like at A or C, bots never go out of the middle of the game. So you never have to worry about that. But yes, the most common thing that happens in the game is you get outnumbered. And I fear a little bit that that's going to turn people off in the long term. That there's no penalty for 4 against 1, 3 against 1, 2-on-1. I'm
just got to work with your teammates.
Yep, it really works. Yeah. People, going off and trying to do other things. Interesting to see how they'll balance that out in the long run.
I just to wrap up with me real quick. I just think that For Honor, I think it's a great game. It's very cool. It's definitely something different as far as a fighting game, multiplayer game goes, which is, I can see that being very attractive to a lot of people. But for me, I've got Horizon Zero Dawn coming out.
Oh, yes.
MLB the Show coming out. And it's like, do I have time for this too? And will I be playing this for a while?
I mean, this could be the thing that, the multiplayer thing. But it's all up to you if you're going to spend $60 on it, because I know you're a digital guy. So you're going to pay full price. For me, I'm really curious to see what they do with the story. If it sounds like to me, you wait a little bit, maybe it goes on sale, but also wait a little bit to see what people say about the story.
Yeah,
'cause you might enjoy that stuff. I'm sure there's a story for each faction, and maybe a couple guys within the faction. All right, and what else, Matt?
That's pretty much about it for me, for the most part.
You had the Young Pope in there.
Oh yeah, TV. The Young Pope. I am loving that whole series on HBO. It is very well done, very entertaining to watch. It's a little weird at times, but I think I love it. I think it's great. There's an episode tonight that I'll catch tomorrow. Really cool. Very
awesome.
Cool.
All right, Jay, how about yourself?
Played some Fallout 4, of course. Not really going to get too deep into that because it's just basically the same thing. I've really done much and moved too much further into that.
Let's get into it for just a minute.
All righty.
I've been playing as well.
And, you're back into it. Good.
I've been doing just poking around in Nuka World right now. I haven't really done any. I'm at the point now where I think the guy's name is Porter, and then I have to go and meet the heads of the new gangs that you're introduced to.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason I'm in there and poking around is that the PS4 Pro update came out. And that looks sexy. Damn sexy.
How big was the update for that?
I didn't catch how big the update was. I'll have to look. Maybe I'll tweet that out later.
Yeah, I'm curious how big that is.
It looks smooth. It feels like you can notice the difference going to 1440p. It really looks...
Sure.
I mean, it looks sharp. It looks crisp. I mean, it still has the crusty... I mean, I use that in an affectionate way, crusty artwork of Fallout.
Yeah.
But to me, it looks really sharp. So I'm impressed. Now, I haven't done any combat, and actually been in any missions to see if it, gets a little wonky there. But just walking around Nuka World in the 1440p, really impressed.
Have you run into the robot Nuka-Cola yet?
No. I've just been, I got out of the, last week we talked about killing the guy with the squirt gun.
Yes.
So this time, since the update came out, I was waiting to jump back in, and I just met with the guy who helped me with that, and then he told me about meeting the gangs, and I'm in charge now.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty much where I ran into it, because it's just walking around. Oh, it's a riot.
I've seen that robot guy. I know what you're talking about, but I haven't interacted with them. So what I'm slowly doing now is going back to the Cola cars and getting all the gear that I got from there and bringing it up to the Power Armor station up in the my headquarters.
Nice. So that's pretty much what I've been doing in there. So the next one is Fallout Shelter came out. It's free. So
On the one.
On the one. So I downloaded that. And
I heard some people mention that they're going to try it, but they said that game really lended itself to a mobile application and couldn't really see how it would work well on a console. How did you think it worked?
It works okay. Not as convenient as being, on a touchscreen. It was designed for touchscreen, so it doesn't work as well. But it is manageable, and once you get used to the buttons and stuff, I probably played an hour today. And maybe an hour previously. And, within that time, I got used to navigating. It's not too bad. And I've gotten used to it now. So it works all right. I mean, it's Fallout Shelter, same thing that was on the phone, except it's on your screen and, in a higher fidelity. And, it looks just as good because it may be in a higher fidelity, but I'm playing it on a 55-inch screen compared to a 5.5-inch screen, so the fidelity is just adding more pixels and it's further away.
There's a joke in there somewhere, but I don't want to go there.
Yeah, there you go. So playing that's all right. Haven't done any in-game purchases yet, so I don't plan on it, but you never know. Also, just played some Tumblestone. Which was one of the free games we had at one point in time. That's the one where you got to match the colored blocks, and you got to clear them out to the top, and make sure you do it in the right order because you have to match 3 in a row, and they're all mixed within each other, and then they kind of add different stuff. They'll put stones that are in your way that every time you pick, they disappear and reappear, and they're on the same spot all the time, and they kind of move around as far as which ones appear and disappear. So when one's there, the other one's gone, and so you can pick the ones above it, and you've got to kind of work around that. And I just hit a new one where there's ones that are multiple colors. I really enjoy playing that one. It's fun to play. And then because a lot of these I played because I was sick and really didn't want to get in depth with any other kind of games. I started
to make a run.
In case I had to make a run. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Playing that again. I believe that was another one that was backwards compatible. That was a Games of the Gold. So I've been playing that. That is Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's old school. They've upgraded the graphics just a teeny tiny bit, so you actually can stretch it to your screen, which because it generally starts off in just a small window. So been playing that. Been playing a lot of Microsoft Solitaire on my phone and getting achievements.
Nice.
And yeah, enjoying that. And then that's about it that I've been playing this week. And then I've been watching me and the wife. I put in Lemony Snicket, a series of what the heck's it called? Uneventful something. And that is really strange, but it's drawn me in and hooked me. So we kind of are continuing to watch it. It's really odd. And that's a Netflix produced show with NPH, Neil Patrick Harris. So we've been watching that. It's interesting. So
Excellent. So the only other things that I'll go over, because two of them we've already discussed, For Honor and Fallout 4, is Dead Rising 4, making some good progress still in that. That has become my game that I play right before I work. So I work from home. I have a 1 o'clock start time. And so usually I eat my lunch around 12. And while I'm eating my lunch, I play a little Dead Rising until I start my shift. So it's slow progress. You don't make too much progress playing about 45 minutes a day. But I am enjoying that. And unlocking various vehicles and stuff like that to run over the hordes of zombies, which is so satisfying. And then, I fight
before you go on, I forgot to mention I downloaded that. They have a trial that you can download for that. So if anybody's interested in checking that out, the Xbox One has a trial. I'm not sure about PS4.
Right. It's not on the PS4.
Oh, that's right. It's Xbox.
Yeah, for at least for now, yeah, timed exclusive. Right. Yep. And then move over to Battleborn. Played that today because I wanted to check out the Pro update. What's interesting about this, it allows you to play the game in 3 different flavors. You can play it in 1080p at 30 frames per second, 1080p at 60, or 4K native at 30 frames per second. And I went with the 1080p at 60. I felt the visuals are nice at 4K, but I felt like it just ran better with the 1080p 60. So that's what I went with. And this game, man, it's not a bad game, but I play it, and the immediate thing that I'm struck with is I want to play Borderlands. You know what I mean? I just, some of the humor in there, you can tell some of the voices are the same. Little visual cues. I immediately man, I wish I was playing Borderlands instead of this game. And then the other thing is, it is not an easy game to play solo in those story modes, the little chapters that they have. And I was chatting with Chase, Awakened Heathen, halfway through the second story, and I killed the final boss, which essentially would have beaten that chapter. But he shot me at the same time. So what happened was I killed the final boss, and this little voice comes out, "Boy, you mean business, huh?" And then the screen flashed up, "Mission failed." Because I killed the boss, but then the boss killed me because he fired before I killed him.
Oh.
So I was like, son of a bitch, I got to do it. I mean, I ran out of lives. You get you got 5 or 6 lives. So it said mission failed. I was like, you got to be shitting me.
Well, that would piss me off.
Yeah. So I stopped playing. But I wasn't totally blown away with the PS4 Pro update. It's not a bad looking game anyways. And it's not one of those games like a Battlefield where it's more natural environments and you can really see, things because they're in their natural state. I know what a tree looks like, and this looks like a better looking tree. Well, in Battleborn, it's all artistically done, right? There's no trees in there. They're just made up scenarios and situations and environments. So, but it is a sharp looking game, and I like that it provides you the option of 3 different flavors. And that's it for me. So let's move on to the notable releases for the week. We already mentioned that For Honor is coming out on Valentine's, but also Sniper Elite 4, Jay. You think you're going to pull the trigger on that or no?
I have Amazon up right now.
I was wondering what the pause was.
Now, what are you getting this for? PS4 or 1?
Well, I was thinking about that today. I was like, I should get it for the PS4 because that's where I like to play. But I'm going to be playing this game with you, and I know you like to play it on the Xbox One, and you don't have the PS4 update yet. You know, all those things are going through my mind, so I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
If I had the beta for the PlayStation and could put an external on, I wouldn't even question it. But I don't have external support. I keep having to delete games so I can put new ones on. So,
Yeah.
are you thinking of getting this, Matt, or is this something that doesn't interest you?
No, I probably won't be. This isn't even on my radar. This game.
Yeah, me and Mike have played the other ones pretty much together, and it's a riot when we first get into it because forget the damn controls every time and always check a wayward grenade. But most of the time it's paid off.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk offline and see what system we'll get it for.
Yeah.
All right, let's jump into the news, and there's a bunch of them that we want to get through. First of all, a new Wolfenstein game may be in the works.
Yes, please.
So, Pete Hines at Bethesda was on the Kind of Funny Gamecast earlier in the month, and he says that Machine Games is working on a new game, and he says it's fucking bananas, Jay. Bananas.
I fucking love those games. I just love those games. So much fun to play.
He wouldn't say if it's a Wolfenstein sequel. He said it's fucking bananas, and I can't wait to show what it actually is. Greg Miller sort of hinted like, hey, we're going to see this at E3. He says, I'll let you know when. And he wouldn't come out and say that it is a Wolfenstein game. The reason people believe it is because a mock command.exe screen flashed on the screen during Bethesda's E3 2016 briefing.
Yes, it did.
And it showed an unknown property called The New Colossus, with the release date listed as only, a bunch of asterisks. So this could be what they're working on. But Jay is a big fan of both the Wolfenstein games that have come out in recent years.
And that would probably be a day one for me, depending on when it comes out, because it is single player, so it's not, it's not like Gears and stuff where you want to jump on it because you want to get in and play with your friends before it gets boring, or other people get bored of it. So, yeah, I've played through both Wolfenstein games, I think 2 or 3 times now. So
New Order came out in 2014, Old Blood came out in 2015. Moving on, we have Destiny is going to be getting a release, not a release, it's going to be getting an update this week on Tuesday at 10 a.m. And one of the main things that this update is going to do is tone down the shotguns in Crucible. They need to be dialed back because I guess they're overwhelming strength. A number of abilities will also be tweaked. Stormcaller's melee range has been reduced, making it comparable to other Warlock melee attacks, while Gunslinger's throwing knife now deals solar damage.
Can I make a comment about the shotguns?
Sure.
It seems like every game out there that has a shotgun, the shotgun is overpowered, and they're always nerfing it later on. Why don't they just freaking nerf the shotgun at first and then not worry about it?
Well, I don't know much about guns, but would a shotgun be overpowered at close range? I mean, aren't shotguns by nature supposed to deal heavy damage, but not something you can reload as fast? So that's how they balance things out. Like, hey, this gets a lot of damage, but you can't shoot me consistently with it because you always have to reload.
Yes, and the key word there is close range. There are a lot of these games, a shotgun, you're across the map and they're killing you with a shotgun.
So it's not so much the power that they damage, it's the range they need to dial back.
Yeah, the range and how realistic it is.
Gotcha.
in the DPS.
Yeah. Yep.
Not sure how much you guys pay attention to Steam Greenlight. This is a way for developers to sort of put their game up online on Steam for voting, and more popular games would then get pushed through. And you would have to pay a $100 fee to get on Steam Greenlight, and that money would not be kept by Valve. It would be donated to a charity. And many felt that this became a popularity contest, and it was not an effective way to get games onto the Steam platform. So now they're going to Steam Direct, and they haven't come out with a price yet, but they are basically saying it's going to be somewhere between $100 to $5,000. So, Matt, if you're working on a game at home in your basement that you feel is ready for the masses, you could put it on this Steam Direct, but you have to pay a price. And they say you can recoup this price. So let's say it's $2,500. Let's say they meet in the middle. Maybe after you've made $5,000 in sales, they give you the $25,000 back. I mean, after you made $5,000, they give you your $2,500 back.
Okay.
It sort of seems like that. But then there is people complaining that says, some of these people who are just themselves making the game, they don't have that type of money. So they might be adjusting this price depending on what type of situation it is. So if it's a studio that's working on a game that may be larger in scope, like say, we'll take Ark for instance, right? So Ark came out of nowhere and it was in early access, but a lot of people are working on that game. They got the money because they're paying salaries to people. Maybe they'll be charged $5,000. Someone who's working alone on a game, like those Five Nights at Freddy games, Binding of Isaac, where it's just one person, maybe they don't have to pay $5,000. Maybe they're going to pay $1,000. I don't know what the proper way is, because what you don't want to happen on Steam or any platform is just like open the doors, the floodgates open, and then all of a sudden you got like 36 games that are like, that are all about Flappy Bird knockoffs.
Yeah, I wonder if they're trying to control quality here.
Yeah, I think that's what they're doing. They're saying, all right, some guy that came out and just came up with instead of Flappy Birds, it's Flappy Shit Bombs, and he slapped his game together, slapped his game over at, in the course of a week, and now he just wants to put up there and, cash in. Well, he's got to pony up first, and maybe he doesn't have that money, and that will deter him from putting a clone up on the site.
So you're saying I should my Mike's Wiping Simulator 2017. I should
yes, the Lean and Clean Simulator.
Probably, I should probably not release that.
Well,
so do you lose if you get dingleberries?
Exactly. You lose at a lot of things. You lose in life.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. Yes, you have to save up, Matt. No TV. Sell all your bottles that you're getting. Just don't recycle them. Bring them back. Cash them. Do you have a bottle recycle program in Ohio?
No, we do not. I can cans. My aluminum cans. I could bring them in for scrap. Right. But no deposits on bottles here in Ohio.
Well, then you got to fucking move. Next up, mod support is already coming to Conan Exiles. It's a game that we talked in depth last week about. They've already made their development money back, so it's sold 1 million units already, and they've sold 320,000 copies, which made them $1 million, I believe. So they have already recouped their developmental costs, and now they're going into mod support. So when Sean is back with us, he will have to talk about mods and things like that, because I can only imagine the stuff they're going to come up with. They already have a genital slider. I can only imagine other stuff that will be going on, shenanigans. Let's see, next, the Fractured But Whole has been delayed.
Oh.
This is the South Park game that's following up the Stick of Truth. And what's interesting about this delay is they're saying it's going to be coming out sometime in their next fiscal year, which means it's going to come out sometime between April 2017 to March 2018. That's the window now. They haven't given an exact date, but it's been delayed yet again, and they say it will be out before the end of the next fiscal year. So all you South Park fans, I'm sorry, but maybe some of you didn't finish the Stick of Truth. Now you'll have time to finish it. The Walking Dead, the new second half of the season kicks off tonight, right, Matt?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah. So the episode 3 of season 3 from the Telltale series will be dropping sometime in March. Has anybody played the new season 3? You don't play any of the Telltale games, do you, Matt?
I'm not a big fan of those. No.
Now, Jay, you've sort of lost interest as well, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So they're coming out in March for anybody. Sort of snuck under the radar a little bit this week. GTA 4 is now backwards compatible on the Xbox One.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. But I guess it's not the most optimal experience. It says it hits the same performance level as the original hardware, but can actually deliver anything up to a 5 frames per second advantage. In terms of the quality of Microsoft's virtual machine, this is impressive. GTA 4 hits the CPU hard in particular, where 360 delivers new frames in 16 milliseconds and 33 millisecond intervals. Xbox One often tosses in a bunch of 50 milliseconds and even 66 millisecond spikes. The end result is, while mathematically GTA 4 runs faster on Xbox One than it does on the 360, the experience is something else entirely. It feels choppier and more uneven, while controller latency, hardly one of the game's strongest points on the original hardware, sometimes feels significantly laggier on the Xbox One. In certain areas, frame pacing seems to normalize, but by and large, in-game performance seems less stable.
Not good.
No.
So this is one of the ones that, even though there's an improvement in frame rate, the game plays like shit.
Yeah. It seems this could be less of a Microsoft issue and more of a Rockstar issue, because I was not that impressed with the Red Dead Redemption. And certainly the multiplayer had a whole host of issues. The single player seemed fine.
I'm wondering if it would have similar issues if you were playing it on 360. Maybe it's just the old, it's old servers. Yeah, exactly. I mean, was it Ghost Recon's kind of the same way? It used to be a lot of fun to play, but you go to play it now, or Rainbow Six. You go to play some of those older games now, and yeah, it's crap just because the servers are ancient.
And the last bit of news here, Nintendo Switch owners, when you buy your console in a few weeks, later in the month of March, you're going to be able to play in the Splatoon 2 beta. So you'll be able to download the game from their store. And they're having what they call a global test fire schedule. So on March 24th, there's a couple time slots, as well as March 25th and 26th. Get in there and play the game. Looks like little hour time slots here and there. It's kind of cool. You'll be maybe done with Zelda by then, and then you can fire up Splatoon 2.
Nice.
All right. I got a couple plugs here before we end this. Glixel.com, which is Rolling Stone's gaming website. They have a link that I'll put in the show notes that lists every single Switch game that's coming out. So for people that feel like there's not a lot of games, you can review this and check them all out. The Ghost Recon Wildlands Twitter feed tweeted this out earlier in the week. In Ghost Recon Wildlands, no matter if you are the host playing in someone else's game, the missions you unlock will always be saved.
Nice.
So that's a game that we played, and I did not realize that game was coming out in March. I thought that was a June or July game.
Nope.
So there's another game coming out for you, Mike.
Man, I mean, this. I mentioned this on another podcast that I'm on this week, but I did get some good deals this week on physical games. But man, this week we already talked about For Honor and Sniper Elite 4, and then Neo just came out.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn is February 28th. Nier Automata's March 7th.
Jeez. Getting out of hand.
Ghost Recon's the same day, I believe, March 7th.
Isn't that new Mass Effect game coming out here?
It comes out in May as well. March 21st seems like around that time period. And then you talked about the baseball game is the end of March.
March 28th.
I've already got my next couple months mapped out. Jeez.
And then the whole Switch.
Ah.
And then there's a whole new wave of Fallout 4 Funkos. And then packs. God damn it.
PAX is going to open up a bunch of games too, because you're going to go in there. We're going to see some and be like, oh, I got to pick this up, or I got to check that out. So,
Right.
but we got Sniper Elite coming for me. Horizon Zero Dawn, gonna have to get that. So, I think I've got the next few months are pretty much eaten up. So,
I got a media blackout on Horizon Zero Dawn. I've seen enough. They're sort of releasing stuff now on a weekly basis, and I'm like, all right, not paying attention to any of it now.
yeah, I'm still wondering if I want to pre-order or if I'm going to wait and see what's coming
That
out.
statue.
I pre-ordered
You
here
want a
during
statue?
I wanted that statue. I know
That's sold out now, isn't it?
I don't know, I haven't looked. It was on. Right, it was sold out on Amazon, but it was still available as of a few days ago in Best Buy.
Yeah, the only one that I've regretted not getting was the Dishonored 2. I wanted that one with the mask.
You can find that at every Best Buy in store.
Oh, really?
There was like the last time I was in the Best Buy near me, there was like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, I'll have to check it out then. Just not paying $119.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't discounted.
Right, and I don't have the discount anymore. I don't have the Gamers Club Unlocked anymore, so because I don't buy
All right.
physical. So
Let's get into some shout-outs here. Matt, why don't you go first?
Well, certainly shout out the guys who weren't on the show tonight. I know Mike was getting the bottom of the barrel when he asked me to come on. So I appreciate you asking me to come on. I enjoyed it, of course. Jay, it was good talking to you on the podcast.
yeah, it's good having you on.
Yeah, it was always fun. It's always fun being on another podcast when you don't
It
have to
might be
worry
the
about
bottom of
anything.
the barrel, Matt, but it's a nice oak barrel that it maybe had some whiskey in it. So
As little bourbon traces in the
an old bourbon barrel. Yeah, so
works for me.
so
It's always nice
not a
being
bad
on
one.
It's always nice being on a podcast. We don't have to worry about anything. You just sit and relax and talk. Don't have to worry about make sure you're still recording and keeping things going and stuff like that. Just leave that up to Mike to take care of.
There's some behind the scenes, and we'll pull the curtain back a little bit. Matt gets stressed. A guest comes on late, things aren't recording. Gets very stressed.
I have little to zero patience for
Coping
a lot
skills.
of things. Yeah. And I do get stressed out very easily on stuff and that. So it's nice to just sit back and relax at some point. But no, I really enjoyed being on. And the show's been really good, Mike, the past, well, not just the past few episodes, but for a while here, the show's been very good. And I enjoy Corey and the soundboard, and I like when Joe's on and everything. So it's fun. It's fun listening to you guys every week.
Excellent. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Anything
That's
else?
it for me. Nope, that's it. That's it.
All right, Jay.
I want to give a shout out to Matt for coming on. Appreciate you coming in and filling in when the guys are down. We've had some not necessarily injuries, but some sicknesses and just plain being busy. And this weather's been getting some people down. And so appreciate it. And also appreciate 40cast. Really enjoy listening to that. There's a big shout out to the 40cast.
All right.
Listen to it before Mike went on it, and then when Mike came on, he didn't ruin it. So I still like listening. So, so appreciate that, and thanks for putting that out, and especially like the fact that you age it before it's released. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of care that goes into putting that show out.
Does that go in the barrel too? A little bourbon flavor to it.
It goes in some type of round barrel. That's for damn sure.
It goes in the bathtub where he's making his beer, and we're next to where he pisses.
Hey, Mike, you'll be happy to know that I opened that in the bathroom. I opened the bucket today in the bathroom to put my dry hops in, and so you'll be happy to know that I did that after I took a shit. I opened up my bucket.
Matter.
I opened up my bucket and put in my dry hops and sealed the bucket back up. And in 5 days, I'll transfer it to a keg.
Awesome. Don't know how you do it.
So shout out to Matt's beer.
Do we have a name for this one?
Shitty hops.
The Mike's Clean and Clean.
You're going to pay me royalties for that.
Oh,
Anything else,
to finish up, just as usual, to the listeners, thank you for listening, and all of you that are chatting with us on Discord. I'm trying to get in there a little more. It's been tough with this weather. I don't have as much time to get on the phone, so especially while working. So appreciate all of you that have been joining us on Discord and communicating, and also on Twitter and whatnot. And thanks for listening. Appreciate it.
All righty. Well, of course, we got to shout out Matt. It's always nice to talk to Matt when it can. I think the good thing about the two shows, Matt, is 40cast just has a little gaming element to it. We don't spend the whole time talking games. So this is nice for you to come over here and predominantly just talk about games. So
Yes, yeah.
you can get your fill of that. So thanks for coming on and be willing to help out. And shout out to Jay for dealing with his illness yesterday and the snow today and still coming through and being here. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
And shout out to all the listeners. If you want to send us any feedback, you can tweet us at GamersInBeta. You can email us gamersinbeta@gmail.com, or you can hit us up at either of those places and ask us for the Discord link, and you can chat with us daily on Discord. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google, and all that stuff. And last week, the Lean and Clean episode, A Dingleberry-Free Lifestyle, was one of our most popular episodes of all time. So thanks for everybody for listening. And clearly you like the shit talk, so maybe we need to keep doing that because that episode blew it out of the bowl big time.
Right out of the bowl.
Yeah. So hopefully the other guys are back next week. Catch up with them. But until then, this has been episode 189.
And until next time, same beta time, same beta channel, and hopefully blow it out of the bowl next time. See ya!
Hey, look me over, I'm a son of a rat. The word of the prophet's in my blood. And you can keep all cuts in your flag and your Bible. Just won't do you any good. 'Cause on the day I was born, Lord, my mama cried out. Slipping never really gonna pay. 'Cause I'm a holy motherfucker, I'm a Yankee and a rocker. Ready for my heart on the day. You pass the radio. You pass the radio. Now I'm going to the border, never coming back. Going for the border for a suicide attack. Come on, man, and tie your bell down tight. One-way rocket to paradise, and now we're young, fast. Praise God, we are our radio. Young, fast. Praise God, we are our radio. We are young, fast. Praise God, we are our radio. Young, fast. Praise God, we are our radio. Hey, it's the pedal, I'm ready to roll. It's the only one calling my name. And when I hear that crazy sound, I lose out control. Drink a big solid to say.
No casting for me tonight. Woke at 3 a.m. puking. Still feel terrible. I've got bubble gut something awful. Been pissing out my ass all morning. Pretty sure this is food poisoning.